Whenever you are dealing with some type of business or something that you need to get done, take the emotion out of it and work off of logic. What's going on, ladies and gents in Cyberland? Coming back to another educational real estate video slash talking about life. So, there are going to be times where you're going to have some decisions in front of you, some choices you're going to have to make, and you are going to have to be responsible and understand the choice you make can have a consequence that either is going to be in the direction you want it to be, or it's going to be, I shouldn't have done that. What I say with that is I'm going to say in the terms of logic versus emotion. At times when we have debts that need to be paid, bills that need to be paid, we have a habit of when we get paid that instead of us putting down the maximum that we can for a credit card, we put the minimum. Not understanding that if you put the minimum, you're going to end up putting more money down to pay off your debt, as opposed to putting the medium or the maximum amount you can afford to do. But when we're out of sight, out of mind, we don't logically think about that. We're not pinching numbers because we're just like, let me just put something so I can take the rest of the money after I pay my bills, for most of us, and go do something with it. And as I have gotten older, I have realized that doesn't serve me too much. I have realized that when I get paid or when the family gets paid, don't always have to go spend money. Don't always have to buy some shit. Don't always have to feel like I need to get the newest thing, or I need to feel like I'm treating myself. And the reason why I say that is because over time, that can be detrimental to you, especially if you have debt or you have unforeseen events. It doesn't have to be your bills that are already paid. It could be your car breaks down and it wasn't planned. It could be your house has a plumbing issue. It wasn't planned. Your roof is falling apart. Your foundation is falling. It wasn't planned. So you now have serious situations, and you don't have the money to resolve them because you were making purchases based on emotion and how you felt at the time, that I want to do something for me. Well, aren't you always doing some shit for you? Aren't you always buying something every time you get paid, or every 2 weeks, every other check you're always buying some stuff? And at the end of the day, even if you're not buying stuff to fill up your house, you're spending money sometimes where, is it really necessary? Are you going to be any more fulfilled with buying that game? Are you going to be more fulfilled with getting your hair done weekly as opposed to every other week? Or buying another pair of shoes that you only wear once every couple weeks? It just becomes a thing where, do you always feel you need to buy some shit? Do you always feel you need to have something? Do you always need to eat out? Can you go a month or a couple months without having to spend money outside of your normal budget? Can you do that? Or is that too hard? And that's something everybody has to deal with. Everybody has their own spending habits. I know personally, I was terrible. I spent years buying shit that at the end of the day just made me feel some type of way, but I didn't need it. I didn't need it at the time. Now, if I gotta be like, cool, but was it necessary when I did it? I didn't do it based off of logic. I did it based off emotion. I did it based off of, I really want this and I'm going to get it. And how many of those times is I really want this, I'm going to get it? And there's always going to be something that comes out. There's always going to be something that you can buy. That's, our economy is based on consumerism. But do you always have to take part of it every time you get paid? Every time you have money, do you need to take part? Do you need to do your part? Or can you just be like, you know what? I don't feel like buying anything. I don't need that. I'm going to chill for a little bit. I'll buy something when it really gets my attention. Or do you feel like every time you get paid, you got to spend money? And those are things to consider when it comes to your finances. And it's not just finances, it's also, if you get in an argument with your spouse, do you have to be emotionally involved with the argument? Or could they be upset and you try to calm the situation, take the emotion out of it, and talk to them in a logical manner? Because sometimes that's the best approach. To not get on their level and argue. And be like, babe, I understand how you're feeling. Let's talk it out and let's reason with what's going on. And you'd be surprised whether that's male or female, because both sides can be emotional, that the other person might come back and say, you know what, I'm glad you talked to me because I was upset, or I was feeling this type of way, or not upset, I was sad or crying for the wrong reasons. And you just be like, hey, that's what I'm here for. It's like, it's not like I'm not guilty of it. You do it, I do it. It's just got to have somebody who checks the other person and calms the situation down. And it's not always easy. But logic versus emotion, because when people are emotional, that's when they're more inclined to make bad choices and mistakes and say things that they really didn't mean, or they shouldn't have said. Even though I think Richard Pryor said it, where when people are emotional, they say how they really feel. And I'm just like, yes, but you're mad. So it's kind of like that's kind of twisted, because you're angry, so you just want to say something hurtful. And it may not always be the truth. So. Anyway, that being said, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Take care.